class. Today we are going to do the little fun coloring tutorial, and we're also going to make the card. This is something that is very popular in the actually coloring books community, this style of coloring the images that to make them look like embroidery. Hello, Julie, Lynette. Oops, was trying to turn down the volume and of course pressed on the wrong button. So the image we're going to use today is this little ducky, and this image is from the new clear stamp set called Quacktastic. This stamp set is from our April kit of the month. This kit is still available for another, what date is today? 27th, for another week. It's available until May 4th. This kit includes Marcy rubber stamp and the dark clear stamp set. This is the image that we'll be using for our coloring tutorial. And also it includes two of the dies, the pond and this whimsical trees. There are also, excuse me. So the kit is the part of the subscription, or you can purchase as a standalone kit as well. And also for the subscription, we have three different options. You can subscribe for the full kit. It will include the rubber stamp dies and the clear stamp set. You can also choose rubber stamp option. So then you'll get the rubber stamp and the dies. Or you can choose, depending on what your preferences are, you can choose a clear kit of the month option that will include the clear stamp set and the dies in the kit of the month. All information is on our website at lalalandcrafts.com. Hello, Leslie. Yeah, it is kind of, it's not raining here right now, but it's pretty cloudy. So if you go to lalalandcrafts.com and from there click on kit of the month, all information will be there. And as I said, if you are interested in this particular kit, this kit is available until May 4th. So you can still get it. So today's class is basically mostly about coloring with this embroidery technique. But we're also going to make this card. It's a pretty simple card. On the video description there was file with the, not file, in the video description there was your like homework, I call it homework, cutting and die cutting guide. So I have my layers cut and die cut already, but we're going to start with coloring. And you also got in the video description, or even if you're watching later, in the video description there is a list of the markers and pencils we're going to use. So you guys are ready? Do you have your ducky stamped? I'm losing my voice, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get some water, I think. So I have my ducky stamped here, and I have my markers and my pencils ready to go. Lynette and Julie, are you finding each other there in Arizona? So the from the clear stamp set, this is the one we're going to use. This set comes with 4 ducks. This is the one that I have on my card. So if you have it stamped and ready to go, I'm ready to start. You guys ready? Yes. I just wanna hear a yes. So I have only 3 markers here, lighter and darker in yellow, and then a blue one. And then I have my pencils ready to go. You're ready, Wendy? Okay, so we're going to start with the blue marker. And we only have 1 color. And I'm just going to add thin line of color closer to the right next to the stamp line. So that's all I'm doing right here. Just thin line of color closer to the stamp line. Like this. So we're going to do all of the marker first, and then we're going to switch to pencils. So from your yellow colors, if you're using OLOs or if you're using COPICS, you're going to grab the lighter one. And here we're going to, with the lighter one, we're going to do, to add the lines for our embroidery on his head, body, and the wings. So let's start with the wings because it's pretty simple here. So on the wing, I'm just going to add the line, just horizontal line about in the middle of the wing. Just a line like this. Hello, Sue. Then on his body, I'm going to add 3 lines. So I'm going to have about like 1/8 of an inch under his neck, or on his neck right here. So 1 line here. Then from the bottom about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. And let's round it just a tiny bit. So we're gonna do another line like right here, about 1/4 of an inch. Another line right here. And then another line kind of between these 2 lines. So this is what I have right now. Then on his face, we're going to do 1 line right under where his like hairs are going up there. Then another line kind of where his brows right here. And then 1 more kind of in the middle of this space above his beak. So another line right here. So this is what we have at this point. And then we're going to do some flicks from these lines. And when we're doing the flicks, I just want to show right here. So I'm going to turn mine upside down when I'm doing flicks. We're going to go up and keep the space between your flicks. Try to keep, I know this is a small area, but we're going to try to keep the space between the flicks. And I'm going to hold my marker as upright as I can. So my flicks are skinny, right? We don't want a wide flicks. So I'm going to start like from the bottom of his body here, and we're going to also round them, just a little bit. So they're not all straight, just give them a little bit of the like dimension. So when the embroidery is, so we're just trying to create dimension for the embroidery. So we're going to start flicking here, and I'm not going to go all the way up, but to the center of this space. So I still have some white on the top. So then from this line, I'm going to go up also and add some flicks here. So I'm trying to keep the space between them and still keep the white on the top. Just going to add a little more on this side I missed. And I'm going to keep on going just like this. So from the line that you created, just going up with little flicks. Then I'm going to do the same on the wing. So from this line here, I'm going to go up. Just there's not much space here, so really short kind of flicks there, because we're still trying to keep the space, and a little bit right here where the wing goes up, or the shoulder. And then from the bottom here, also small flicks there. And the same on the other wing. So this space, and then from the line, just little flicks. Hi, Erin. And then from these lines here as well, so I'm going to go right above the beak and flick a little bit there, and then flick from each of these lines. So I'm going to go above his eyes here into those like they're not eyebrows, but those this space on his face, and then continue from the line here, and then above the eyes again here. Then flick here into his little funny hairs. So that's what we have. Oh, let's do his cheeks too. So on the cheeks, I'm actually going to turn, and I think I'm going to flick on onto this, into this area. Just flick a little bit here, and then right where his, like the big ends here, flick a little bit there as well. So that was our lighter yellow. Now I'm gonna switch to my darker yellow marker, and this will be for the beak and his feet. So on the feet, we're going to do just one line again, somewhere like in the middle. Just straight lines like this. Then on his beak, we're just going to do one line right above his nostrils there. Just like that. And then we're going to do the flicks again. So I'm going to turn mine, and I'm going to flick from his foot, like the to this line, but again, leaving the space. So I'm going to flick here and leaving the space, and then flick from the line up. Just adding little flicks there. And I'm going pretty slow right now because I'm giving you time. And this is my, you know, I've colored it already, so I kind of practiced, but this is your first time, so I'm going a little bit slower to give you time to follow me. But when you're coloring on your own, once you get comfortable with this, it goes by much faster. So here I'm going to flick from this line that we created, and from the top of his nose, of the beak. And then we're going to flick like tiny little flicks into his lips here. I know they're like really tiny area here, but we need to add a little bit of the marker to create base for our pencil. So little flicks, try to keep space between them, between your flicks. I know it's a tiny space there. So just little flicks there. And then I'll add just a little bit color on the sides of his beak here too, just a little bit. So this is all we're doing with markers. So markers are done. We're going to switch to pencils. I know you guys are busy coloring or following along, but I want to hear your input too. If you are ready to move on to the next color, to the pencils. So let me know if you're done with markers, if you're ready to go with pencils. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to finish up. Wendy, you're ready? Okay. Also, there is always like a few seconds delay between the video and the actual live, live and the video. So make sure your pencils are sharp, because we'll need to do skinny lines there. I'll probably need to sharpen them again. So first thing, I'm going to grab Canary yellow, and from the opposite of the, so we have the line here, and then this is the white space, right? So we're going up from the line. Now I'm going to go down instead. So this space here, I'm going to add a little bit of Canary yellow. And I know it's hard to see with the lighter color, where I'm going to be using Canary yellow, but I want to show you. So, so this is how we have, like say this is 2 lines here, right? And we have flicks from each line, like this. So with my Canary yellow, I'm just using the darker one so you can see better. I'm going from the line, I'm going into the opposite direction. I'm going into my marker flicks, okay? So we're just adding a little bit of the color there. So I'm going from this line, I'm going down into my flicks. And again, I'm leaving space between my lines. So you can curve them a little bit, that will create the dimension, but leave the space between them. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that. Don't press too hard on it, because this is not pencil coloring paper. We don't want to flatten the paper with this first layer. We're just adding a little bit color onto that white, onto those white areas. And again, we want to keep the space between the lines because we want to have that, all of that contrast still building up there. And I'm going in all of these areas, the ones we colored with the lighter color and the one we colored with the darker color. So just from the opposite side, adding a little bit of this lighter pencil from the opposite side on all of them. So wherever your lines are, so here I'm going to go this way. We're not adding the yellow color on the eyes. This is only where our yellow areas are. And I'll just do like a few here and there on his lips there, just so the color stays consistent. So this was Canary yellow. Now I'm going to switch to yellow ochre, and we're going to go on to the areas where the body, the wings, and the face. We're not going to use this on the on his beak and the legs and the feet. So here we're going to go back to the way we were working with the marker. So I'm going to go right on top of this line that we created. I'm going to do all these 3 lines here. And then I'm going to do the flicks again. I mean, this is pencil, but they're also almost like flicks, right? So we're going to start right where we're doing with the marker, and we're going to start adding the flicks here, going up from the line, and round them just a little bit. And here on the bottom of his body, I'm just going to also follow this black line, the stamp line, and see how I'm kind of curving them. So we're creating the stitches effect now, right? So this is what I was doing. I was going this way upside down, right? And then we're gonna do the same on the wings. So I'm gonna go right on top of the line that we created. So again, reinforce those straight lines. And I feel like I need to sharpen my pencil. So if you feel like your lines are not as skinny, go ahead and sharpen your pencil as well, and start going back over where we put the marker on and adding these lines here. So over here on the line, starting from the line. And I'm keeping the space between my stitches, right? Those are the stitches. Like this. Then on his face, again, let's go ahead and do our lines. So I have line here, I have line here, and one here. And then we're going to do our flicks again, our stitches. So right above his eyes here. And into his hairs. Between his eyes on this line. And above his beak. Then on his cheeks, I'm going to follow the shape and add some stitches here and a little bit under his smile. So it's already starting to look like stitches, like a little bit. It's starting. We're gonna trust the process, right? So cute. Okay, so our next color is goldenrod. I know it's mine. Mine is getting smaller, and I know I sharpened it, but I kind of want to make sure. The point is very, very pointy. It's like needle here, right? So with this one, we're going to go over the same areas again on the on his body and wings and and his face. So I'm going to go over this line again to make it a little darker. We're building up the layers. So making these lines a little darker. And again, we're going to do the flicks right from the line. And again, we're keeping the space there. Just keep on flicking. And from here, around them a little bit. I'm going to sharpen my pencil again. And we're going to do the same on the wings. So right on top of the line again, building up the color here. And from the line up, curve them a little bit and make sure you're leaving the space between your flicks so they are looking like stitches. So we're starting to see the dimension already with all different colors. Then on his face, again, going to go on top of the lines first. And then from the line, start flicking. Right from the line. I'm starting right on top of the line and then keep on going. Right here into his little hairs and on the cheeks. I call them cheeks, but he is so cute. And right under his smile there. Okay, so now we're going to use the same pencil. So this is goldenrod, the same pencil. I sharpened it, and we're going to go on his feet and the beak. So this will be our first color over the marker on these areas. Melinda's, he's cute, he's a cutie. And we're going to go over the lines here. So we're basically trying to keep the body and the wings lighter than the body, the wings, and the head a little bit lighter than his feet and the beak. So we're kind of trying to do the yellow and orange kind of situation here. So I'm going to go and do the line here again. And then we're going to flick. So again, leaving the space. Rounding them a little bit, our stitches, our false stitches. And again, I'm going pretty slow right now because, as I said, this is your first time coloring this, but you can definitely go so much faster. You can just like go pretty fast. This is this technique is I feel like it's so much fun, and of course like it's a little bit something different, so that's always fun to do. In this areas on his lips there, it's very small area, so I'm going to make sure that my pencil is really sharp. It's a neat technique, yeah. And then we're just going to go from the top of the line and really short flicks here. The tip of the pencil broke off, so I'm going to sharpen it a little bit more. And on the lower one. And these images, these dogs are really nice for this technique because they have a lot of open areas. So that's a good image to kind of practice this technique. But you know, it's on my to-do list. I even want to do Marcy like this too. That would be fun to see. I'm not promising them I'm gonna show it, but I'm gonna try it. So now I'm switching to mineral orange, and this will be our last color for the yellow area. So I'm going to go again on his body here and go over the lines first. So this will be our darkest color for these areas. So go over the lines here first and then do our flicks. And this can be a little bit shorter. We're just adding the contrast. And again, make sure you're leaving space and sharpen your pencil when you feel like it needs it. You see the stitches? Okay, and then on the wings, the same thing. So we're going to go over the lines first. And then flick from the lines. From the bottom here. I need to sharpen my... You would love to see Marcy crafting grandma. What's your actual name, if you don't mind? Because I don't know what to how to respond other than calling you crafty grandma. That's fine too. Okay, so we're doing this. Then on his face, again over our lines that we created. And then flick from, oh, Julie, hi Julie. And then add a little bit here. So this is for more contrast that we're building up for our stitches. And now this is with the same pencil. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. I feel like it's kind of uncolored here. Should just lightly going to add a little more into this area. So with the same pencil, this will be our second color for the beak and his feet. So on the beak, again, going to go over the line that we created and then flick from this line. A little over his smile here from the top. And onto the lips. Again, these are really short little stitches. Adding tiny bit here. And then on his feet, again, going to go over the line first. And then flick. Either you're flicking up or flicking down, doesn't matter, whatever is more comfortable for you. But make sure you kind of round them a little bit and leave the space between your stitches. And then the next, now we're going to switch to burned ochre. I know already sharpened them all, but it's like a habit. Every time before I put the pencil on the paper, I sharpen them. It's a habit. So then here again, gonna go over the line and flick from here. Just darkening. We just want to have a little bit contrast so it's not all the same color. And then on his lips. on the bottom one. So we can see now, right? So now we can see that it's a different color of our embroidery. Now add, I need to sharpen mine. It's fun to do something different once in a while. So this is a good kind of, this is very different from what we usually do with coloring. So here I'm going to add my darker stitches. And on this side, you might notice me turning my pencil, and this is also one of the habits that I have from, you know, my early days of being an artist. I think it keeps the point sharp when we turn it, right? So when we're coloring, if we turn the pencil, I'm not saying you need to do it or you have to do it. You can always sharpen it, but it's kind of like one of those things that I do without thinking. So this was our yellow and orange. Now we're going to get our lighter and darker blue or turquoise colors. So we're going to use muted turquoise first, the lighter one of two. And this is for his eyes. So on the eyes, we already have the blue base that we put here with the marker in the beginning. We're going to start flicking from the outside, from the line. We're going to start doing our stitches in. And I'm going to start turning my paper. So I want them to be, I'm rounding them a little bit, but I want them to be like coming out of this line, like perpendicular, right? So like when we're stitching, if we're doing the hand stitching or if we're doing the machine embroidery, you would like turn your machine, right? Like or turn your material fabric in the machine. So, and this way we're creating this kind of rounded effect for the stitching, right? So let's do this the same on the other eye. So we're going to, I'm rounding my flicks as I go. And then I'm turning, so they're all start from the outside going in. I'm actually going to make mine a little bit longer on this one, kind of a little bit closer to the black part, but still like leaving the space between them, so there we can still see there is a white color there, or like the uncolored area, right? So then we're going to switch to the darker color, and this is actually not turquoise color, it's called slate gray, but it does have like turquoise undertone to this gray. So this will be our darker color for the eyes. So we're going to do the same thing from outside. We're going to start adding our flicks, and they're just a little bit shorter. This is for the contrast. Need to sharpen it again. Keeps on, the pointy point keeps on breaking on me for some reason on this one. So I'm gonna keep on going. Something with this pencil. So shorter flicks, and again I'm turning my paper and going all the way around the eye. Even if you're not going for the embroidery technique, I think this is just a really cute way to color the eyes for the little duckies. Even if you're just coloring with markers and adding the pencil. Going this way. Cute. So now let's grab our white gel pen, and I'm going to use the 08, and we're going to add a little bit more like space kind of into our stitching. So I'm going to go from under the line, and like where we were putting our first the brighter yellow, the canary yellow. So just add a little bit more. It might be hard to see on the video, but I'm adding some flakes into the darker area. So here I'm going to start from this line and add that a little bit there. I feel like this, let me see if I have another one. Yeah, this one is better. So here I'm gonna go this way because that's how I started. Just add a little bit into the lips there, into this area. It just kind of helps with that stitching effect. So I'm doing little stitches, little lines, right? Oh yeah, this one is much better. I think the other white gel pen wasn't working as well. So just adding a little bit. How do you guys store your white gel pen? Do you store it upside down like this so the ink kind of stays flowy? Then we can add a little on the eyes here. I think the other pencil was laying down. Maybe it's better to have it store it upside down. No, I don't remember what the rule on this is on the white gel pens. Okay, so now we're done with the marker pencil, a little bit of the white gel pen. So now the next thing, we're going to use the black pen, and so I'm using the Micron pen. It has archival ink. It doesn't really have to have archival ink, but it's a very like pointy 01 size. And we're going to do like zigzag stitching all over the black areas. And basically I am going to go and do like, what I did here, right? Like, but in the smaller version. So like just zigzags like this. And what we're going to keep in mind, again, we're going to turn like our sewing, like fabric in the sewing machine, right? So I'm going to start here and I'm going to start turning. So where the stamp line is, it's just going to be right over the stamp line. So I'm going to start here on his body and keep on turning as I go, and adding our little zigzags. Just my pen, the ink, just making sure my ink is flowing there. And right kind of in the middle, so the stamp line is in the middle of my zigzags. Cute. And we're gonna do the same thing over all of the areas. So I'm gonna go into his feet. And here, like I'm gonna stop on the corner and then go this way. And just turn and follow the shape. I'm so anxious to see what you guys, how yours turn out. So we did this one. I'm gonna go onto his other foot. If you do like I feel like I did maybe a little bit too close, you can always like add straight lines to make them read more like stitches. So just kind of see how yours look like. We can always go back and look at all of the areas and see if anything needs a little fixing. but we're still trusting the process, right? It's gonna all turn out great. Adorable. Wendy's saying thank you. Can't wait to see yours, Wendy. Then we're gonna go, like, I'm gonna go on the shoulder here and keep on going around this here. Just turning your fabric, right, in the sewing machine. As I said, like, you can always add little lines if you feel like you need to fix some areas. And again, you can go pretty fast here. I'm just trying to slow down to give you all time to follow along. Cute. Now let's go on the outside of his face. So just start on one area and keep on going all the way around, and then we're gonna go in like around, skip around the eyes here, just like when stop here and then continue on his cheek. And let's not do the beak, okay? So like let's just do the sides, like the cheeks, the side here, and the little hairs on top. You love it, Julie? It's coming along, huh? It's cute. So I'm gonna go here and continue into his little hairs. Little zigzag stitches. Now let's continue into his eyebrows. So just gonna follow the line here, just finish this off. Then let's go ahead, go around the beak. And into this little smiley lines, and then little area here. So little into the smiley lines and follow the top of the beak. Then on his lips, so there's little area here, so let's finish this. Little zigzags here, I did already on this side. And then on his lips, so like little zigzags right in the middle of the, on top of this, of the lines, right? So just little zigzags all the way around. All the way around here. And on the bottom one. Cute. And then around the eyes, we're gonna go, and again, we're gonna turn it so we're gonna do the circles, right? So I'm gonna start in one area and then keep on following and turning my paper, my fabric, as I'm stitching, right? Just making sure I have the flow. So this black pen really just like, that's what the whole kind of technique is about, right? The stitching, the embroidery. Going over. Cute. Now his nostrils there. Let's just go, so the nostrils are like this. Let's go and add a little bit of the stitching right on top of them. Just little zigzags here. And then on the black part of the eyes, we're also going to do little zigzags here. So it all looks uniform. So it all looks like it belongs together. So little little zigzags around the whole black area. Just here and around where the white is. Very cute. So cute. So now we're done with the so one thing I want to show you, you can definitely I kind of try to do it here. If you add the little dots of the pencil into the lines, it's like it's gonna give another I think I'm just, well, I started already, so I'm gonna do that, but it's optional. So you can also add little dots of black pencil into those lines. Okay. As I said, it's optional. You don't have to do it. Now let's fuzzy cut him, and then we're going to add gray pencil on the fuzzy cutting, and we're also going to add the white gel pen onto the into the eyes. You snuck in, Barbara? Are you working today? Kim is saying such a cool technique. Thank you, Kim. So let's go ahead and fuzzy cut him. So here we're going to, even if your style of fuzzy cutting is cutting on the line, this one actually needs this space for this other stitching that we're going to add around. So when you start fuzzy cutting, just leave a bit of the space with from your black line, and we're going to go all the way around. For sure, add dots, Julie saying, brings out dimension. Yeah, as I said, it's, you know, I feel like it's optional, so it's your preference. If you feel like it adds more. So let's leave some white space, definitely, here. So it's like an embroidery patch that we're going to add to our card. I used to go to Joann's a lot for fabric because my degree is in fashion design. So I used to sew all of my own clothes and my son's clothes. And I didn't use like embroidery patches much, but I loved looking at them. I just loved how they look like. So this is kind of fun to combine, you know, stitching, sewing, stitching, embroidery, and are included in our paper crafts. I think it's a fun way, something different. And this card is pretty simple because I wanted to pretty much show off and have this the image be the star of the card. And it's a fun little like note card kind of thing. So I'm gonna finish by the cutting around his foot here. So I have my image fuzzy cut. So now I'm going to grab my 30% warm gray, and we're going to add this color right from where our black line is and into covering our white space. And I'm just adding straight, well, kind of a little bit rounded, but stitches. And again, I'm just turning the paper as I would turn fabric in the embroidery machine or in sewing machine, like when you sew the patch, the embroidery patch on. So I'm just turning, better put something under it. I'm going into this. And I felt like this definitely adds even more dimension. So so this is not something that they do in coloring books because they don't fuzzy cut the images, but I felt like for us, for our card making, for coloring stamped images, that would be kind of fun to do. So this is my contribution to the to the technique, I guess. Oh, Julie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Julie said you're so talented. I didn't come up with this idea, but it's fun to do it on the, see how much difference that makes? I just love it. And then like if I feel there's too much space here, I can add a little more like stitches, right, in some areas, but you can see how yours look like if you feel like it needs more or not. I don't know how I ended up being in some of the coloring book groups, or maybe just Facebook algorithm, but I'm glad I saw this because this is really, really fun. So does he look like he's stitched now? He's embroidered, so fun. So with my with my wider white gel pen, I'm going to add a little more in this white area. So I lost some with the black pen. I'm just dabbing, kind of doing like little white stitches on top of it. And then if you feel like you need a little more contrast, you can still add even this wider, the thicker white, if you want to try to add a few more here and there, just for more, so it stands out a little bit more in between our colored stitches there. I'm leaving a lot of space. I'm just adding just a tiny bit of it, just here and there. And here's our ducky. Is he cute? Little embroidered, little embroidered little dude. So I wanted to show you, I also tried, this is like really, really quick trying thing. This is the die cut. I would do them, as I said, I was just trying like really, really quick. So my stitches are really, like the zigzags are really wide. But this is, look, this is the die cut tree. So this is the actual die cut. And you can color your die cuts in this way too. Isn't it cute? Would be cute to create like a whole stitched scene for little duckies, or for, you're welcome to try on other images. As I said, this is the only one that I did so far, but we can also do this on the die cuts. This technique we can also try in the die cuts, and especially in this one, it has the sections already, so you can definitely try to do the stitching. So now you kind of know what the technique is, so you can try to, just do the base with the marker, and then you can layer different light from lighter to dark with the stitches. So that would be cute too, right? I think so. So let's go ahead and start on our card now. So the card, as I mentioned, is pretty simple here. I have my ivory layer already die cut for my card base. I have my ivory and gold for the inside, and I have my layers with the circles cut out for the front of the card. So Billy, I don't know if you're watching, Billy mentioned in the Facebook group that it wasn't clear because what I listed in the homework was based on for die cutting, it was based on our double stitch circles and nested stitch circles. By the way, these dies were out of stock for a while, but now they're back in stock. So if you are interested in these dies, they're available. Just go on to the lalalandcrafts.com, and then you can even like search for circles, and this will come up. So from the second largest shape from double stitched circles, it's this die is this size right here, and this is 2 3/4 circle with the stitching on the outside. That's what we're using here, but definitely if you have another 2 3/4 circle, you're welcome to use that. And then on the gold layer, so this was die cut on the Ivory Cardstock, this right here, and because it has stitching, it's called double stitch circles because it has stitching on the outside. We have the stitching on the outside of this layer. And then from the gold cardstock, I used the third shape from the nested stitch circles. It's this die right here, the third one, 1, 2, 3, and this one measures 2.5. So Billy, if you're watching, I already answered on Facebook, but I also wanted to mention here. And in the future, I'm going to include the sizes in the video description or on the homework as well for the circles, because you're right, you might not have, not everybody might have the our circles, so I'll make sure to do that. So first thing, let's go ahead and grab our scoring board and two of our ivory layers, one with the circle die cut and one the layer for the inside. And we're going to do 8/7" scoring all the way around to create kind of embossed effect. Just going to put all of my other stuff out of the way. I'm going to start with the inside layer. And on the inside, it's also pretty simple. So we just have gold and ivory. So I'm going to start on the inside layer first and add 8/7" all the way around. So I'm starting about 8/7" from the top and then stopping about 8/7" from the bottom. And that gives us pretty embossed frame that we can create for any size. And then on the layer that we already have circle die cut, I'm going to turn it upside down. So this is my right side of the die cut with the stitching. I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to do it on the wrong side of the paper. It's not wrong, but I think that's in fabric you could like right side or wrong side, or maybe it doesn't translate the same way. This is like when I was in school sewing, I guess that's what we were calling. Oh, Lanetta say you love 1/4 inch. You like the wider one. Yeah, that works. Whatever works for you. I'm always using 8/7", but 1/4 inch works too. I was just like, I was hearing something. You guys, I would be looking for this die everywhere. It got stuck to the magnet on the bottom of my scoring board. Okay, so then we're just going to glue these two layers together for the inside, and then they're gonna go inside of the card. What scoring tool I'm using? Julie is asking. For the scoring board, I'm not sure if you're asking about the scoring board or the actual tool. So for the scoring board, my preference is Scorpel. I love how it feels very like sturdy, and I love how deep the grooves are. This if you're asking for the scoring tool, it is in this is actually from Caterpillar, and they have their own scoring board. But as I said, I still prefer my Scorpel, but I love the tool from the scoring board that comes with the Caterpillar board. So I'm like, the tool is from one board, but the actual board is the other one. And I don't think they sell. You might, if you go on their website, I'm not sure if they sell it separately. But I just love how it feels in your hand. But you can definitely just use, I think this is 2 millimeter, what is this called? The ball tool. There's a name for it. It will come to me. So any 2 millimeter, if you're using the Scorpel. And again, I said I love the Scorpel because the grooves are deep. So that gives me the deeper embossed line when I turn it, right? You can see how thick that is, and just using the 2 millimeter tool here. And also when I score for the cards, to fold the cards, they fold easier, so that's my preference. So these two layers together, and then I'm going to put them inside of my card. It's a square card, so this is the square layer, so it doesn't matter which way this goes. But when we put our little ducky in the sentiment, you can decide if you want to have your card being top fold or side fold. My preference is top fold. I feel like when you put the cards on the table or on the mantle to display, it just makes them stand easier than the side fold. Excuse me. And of course, stylus. Yes, thank you, Linda. That this is what I was trying to remember the name of the tool. So 2mm stylus. Well, any stylus will work, Julie. Sorry, I'm gonna take a little water break. Making sure I don't lose my voice completely. So this is the inside of the card. Now let's grab our layers with die cut circles. So this is the front of my layer with the die cut and my emboss line, and we're going to glue the gold layer with the smaller circle. You can see how it's smaller on the back side. So I love this type of layering. I love like on the back. It creates more of the like framed effect. If you have pictures or artwork professionally framed, the matting would be like on the inside like this, and I really, really adore this look. So here we can add glue on the back, on the front of this, because this is how it's facing. Just don't go too far in, because you know the about 1/8 of an inch all the way around the circle is going to show there. So it's not going to go anywhere. You don't have to go that close. It doesn't have to be like completely even from the back. We're just trying to make it even inside of the circle. So I know I kind of see already mine is not like completely straight on the back, but that's fine, because that's all we see from the front, and this looks very pretty. So now we're going to add foam tape all the way around this layer. Excuse me. Oh, I'm still kind of recovering, I guess, from being sick. So I'm gonna go on the perimeter of this and add tape all the way around. Julie, you're very welcome. So usually do like 2 sides all the way from, I'm stepping in about 1/8 of an inch, kind of like on where my stamp lines are. I'm sorry, the embossed lines are. So top and the bottom, and then I'll add foam tape here on each side. Then I'll add, if it fits, doesn't show inside of the circle, right? That's the main thing. So I'll add one here. So like right here, it would show, right here, I can squeeze one in here. And in these areas that are too close, I still want it, because it's a pretty big layer, and I like my layers to display evenly, and this time it might sag. So I'm gonna cut skinnier pieces of foam tape, and I'm going to add some here. So I'll add more here on this side. And I'll add some in the corners as well. Just need one more right there. Okay, so now I'm going to remove backing from the tape. Little helper tool. This is almost like we're making a shaker, but we are not. We're just making like a framed card. Now, before we put it on, will be your time to decide if you're going to do top fold or side fold, because when we put the inside was square and square, so inside didn't matter, but this layer I asked you to die cut it about 1/2 inch from the top, because so the circle needs to be higher, because we still need to keep room for our sentiment. And this sentiment just cracks me up, so I think it's just a fun card. Of course, when I on the instructions or on your homework, I said to stamp the sentiment of your preference, but I think this is kind of a fun card to send to somebody, just to put smile on their face. Because how can you not smile with this little ducky and the fun, silly, silly sentiment. So this is the last piece here. If you hear snoring, this is this is our office dog. No, he doesn't live in the office, of course. He lives at home, but he comes to the office. It's Toby. I'm going to add a little bit of the glue over my foam, and that it serves two purposes. One thing, that sometimes foam dries out and falls off the card, but also this will give us a little bit time to move the layer if needed. Because once we put it with the foam tape, you cannot take it off, especially with as much tape as we have here. But if we have liquid glue, it gives us a little bit of the time. So I'm going to make sure this is my area here. This is the one that's closer to the top. And then I'm going to, my card opens up. I'm going to stand up so I can put my layer on. And as you can see, I can kind of move it around just a little bit to adjust it. So this goes here. Then our little ducky friend is going to be inside of the circle, and he's also popped. So I'm going to add foam tape on the back of the whole image. So I'm just cutting skinnier pieces here, just making sure the foam is not showing from the front. Maybe this is a little bit too wide. Add one here. I'll cut this skinnier. See if I can, a little bit too long. Add some on the wings. I'll add on the side of the face and above where his little hairs are. So I'm gonna try to cut my foam skinny here. And a little piece there. It's a beautiful frame, Julie's saying. Yep. So this technique, this kind of idea with the inlaying the contrast color on the inside instead of doing the layer on the top, is also very good to use in scrapbooking. If you're making just layers, the mats for the photos, that would be really cute too. So now I'm ready to add my little ducky inside of my circle. I think both of my scissors and my picker tool need to be cleaned. It seems like it has adhesive stuck on it or something. It's not picking up. I'm having one of those days. Let's see if this is better. And I'll also add the glue on top of this, especially with the ducky. I want him to be positioned kind of right in the center there. Come on. It's like lifting the full tape with the backing. Okay, almost there. So now I'll add a little bit of the glue here. And I'm gonna use tweezers so I can position him without getting stuck with my fingers. So inside of my frame, he's standing and his head is a little bit tilted. Cute. So cute. Okay, now the last thing is the sentiment. And I have mine already stamped and die cut with this shape from our, this die is called scallop sentiment labels. So this is the one, this shape right here. So I have a die cut from Ivory Cardstock, the same color from my card. And I also have a die cut from gold. First, we're going to glue them together, and I'm going to pull the scallops of the gold a little bit lower, so it gives us more dimension here. So you can see the difference. If we would, you can definitely do just the ivory cardstock, but I thought because we have the gold frame here, it kind of ties everything together. So we're going to glue these two layers first. So just offset, and we have gold showing on the bottom, just gold little scallops there. And then we're going to add gold brads. So I'm going to mark the holes first, like where I'm going to do them. So like somewhere here on this side and on this side. Looks pretty even, I think. And then I'm going to make holes. And add the gold brads. I had them somewhere here. So 2 gold brads. That's silver. Something is going on. Something was going on with those two. They were entangled. And when I open the arms or legs, whatever you want to call them, of the brads, I'm gonna have them going this way because I'm gonna add foam tape in this area. So I'm gonna open them vertically on each side. And then I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to add foam tape between the brads there. Oh, actually, we can even go, I think we can go over the brads. Let me see. I don't think it's too much thickness, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go over the brads. Well, now I can't keep it straight. Okay, so let's let the take number 3 right here. Okay. Yep, that works. So now I'm going to remove the backing, and again I'm going to add a little bit of the glue here, just in case I need to wiggle it to put it in the right space. And again, I'm going to hold it with my tweezers, so just easier to see. And I'm going to position it in the middle here, right under our frame. So when I die cut this circle, went a little bit more than half an inch, so you can see it's a little bit lower on mine, but it still works. But if you followed the instructions and have it half an inch here, you should still have the space on your sentiment on each side. But here is our completed card. This was my sample. As you can see, they look pretty identical. I just noticed I have not enough of this black stitching above his nose, so I'm going to add just a little bit right there. As I said, you can always go back, and if you see something, like if you notice something like I noticed, you can definitely do that. But I hope you all enjoyed it. It doesn't go here, but it's still cute. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and had fun trying this new technique. I can't wait to see. Please post in our design, oh, I'm sorry, in our fan group. I would love to see how yours turned out. If you're coloring some other images with this technique, would be really fun to see as well. Please make sure you post and share. You love it. Thank you. Julie's saying, thank you so much for this amazing technique and all your tips and tricks. You're very welcome. Lynette is saying, love watching how it comes together. Thank you, Irina. Lynette, you're very, very welcome. Eric is saying, good job. Thank you. I'm pretty sure all of you watching probably have this kit already, and hopefully you already got it delivered. So you got you got to play and color along with me, or if you're watching it later, or if you're coloring it later, have fun with it. If you don't have this kit yet and you fell in love with this die, you can still get it on our website at lalalandcrafts.com. Just click on Kit of the Month. One more thing I wanted to mention before I let you go. For our spring box, limited edition spring box, we already started shipping it, so some of you might have received it already. If not, be on the lookout for your shipping notification emails. These are the cards that we made in the class, in the in-person class yesterday, using some of the products or most of the products from the box, plus a few of the other products. Some are new, not even yet released. So if you this class will be as a virtual class as well, and it's already on the schedule and on our website. This virtual class is on May 10th, on Saturday, May 10th. So there's still time to sign up for this class if you haven't yet. If you purchase the box or not, if you want to just wait until the products are added to the regular range and they're released, and order them individually. But yes, so still you can sign up for this class. And in this class, it's also going to be coloring class. So like we're going to color the images and then make our cards. So if you have not signed up for this class yet, it is on our website. When you go on lalalandcrafts.com, click on, it actually doesn't have it's separate category. You'll need to click on spring box, limited edition spring box, and the class is also available there for ordering. Geraldine is saying, too much fun, giving me so many ideas. I'm glad. Thank you so much. You love this release, Julie. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think unless there are any questions, let me know. But other than that, this was our not so quick hour 20 minutes, but I hope you had fun with it. And as I said, I can't wait to see how you guys go with this technique. And I will see you. I will talk to you later. Thank you all so much for being here on this Sunday. I appreciate you all, sending you all much love. And this is all for me for now. Bye.